Okay, Jeremy and Bill both discussed briefly the term SEO, search engine optimization. I'm not sure if anybody really explained it during those presentations. I'm going to take a minute and kind of explain it. I'll add a show of hands. Do you understand SEO, search engine optimization? If you guys do, come to this, because it's a difficult concept, but I'll take you through the people, since most people didn't raise their hand. When you're doing a search, and when we talk about search engines, Google is really it. Google has 90+% of the search engine market. When people are searching online, 90% of them go through Google, 7% go through Bing, which is Microsoft's search engine, and then the 3% is a couple of just various small players. Ask.com is one of them. There's a few other domains. But when we're talking about online media, search engines, really it's Google, because it's over 90% of the marketplace, and they see Bing's trying to grow, so you got to keep an eye on Bing. And we'll talk about those two a little bit more when we get into some of the analytics you can use. There's just some information of why search engines are important. Over 1 billion searches per day, and there's over 25 billion pages indexed. When we talk about search engine optimization, when you type a phrase and you're trying to search for something, there may be thousands and thousands of pages relative to your search. Las Vegas auto loans. Type that in, you're going to see hundreds and hundreds and pages of pages that are indexed within Google. If you are a Las Vegas-based credit union and you're trying to grow your auto loan market, you want to show up as high in that search engine as possible. Because people are not going to go to page 100 to try to find an auto loan if they're searching in Google. Typically, they're going to go through the first 3 to 5 pages max. So if you're after the 5th page, they're probably not going to see you unless they're looking for something very specialized, very specific. The idea of getting up, higher up, is a lot of art. It's almost more art than science. Of trying to get your website, when it's searched for a critical keyword, higher up. One of the things that Jeremy brought up is content is king, keywords is king. The key to do on your website is to use keywords very often. When you're writing content, Jeremy said, use a lot of keywords. I've had clients come and say, listen, you're writing a lot of you're using the same word over and over again. It doesn't sound very well. It doesn't flow very well. People aren't reading your website like it's a Pulitzer Prize novel. We don't worry too much. It's got to make sense. But at the same time, you want to use keywords over and over again, because you want Google, when it's indexing your website, to say Las Vegas auto loans, Las Vegas auto loans, Las Vegas auto loans, because it's going to put it higher up in the search engine when someone types that in. So you've got to identify the keywords that you want to be able to show up high in Google on, and then use that often in your website. I'll give you a couple of tricks. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on too many tricks. We can actually do a whole session with your web team and your marketing team on search engine stuff, but content is king, use keywords a lot, and name web pages what they are. For example, programmers love to use abbreviations. So for your checking deposits page, your web guy may title it CK_DEP. Well, when the search engines are looking, they read that means nothing to them. So you want to name your web page for checking deposits, checking. So that when it's searching and it's doing an index search and it's looking, it sees checking, reads your website. Again, it'll help move it up in the search engine and where you are. And when we're talking about search engines, I don't have an example here, I'm sorry, but there are basically 10 per page, and then on the right side there's paid advertisement. On the top there's also paid advertisement, just what Jeremy brought up before. We're talking about organic searches, free searches. That's what we're talking about when we're talking about search engine optimization, getting you higher up in the organic search. Using keywords are often. Jeremy mentioned doors, basically, from other websites, in and out of your website. It's very good to have doors from popular websites. So if you have a partnership with a big company, and you offer a big company, IBM, you offer them, their employees can become members of your credit union, try to get them to link from a partner's page to yours, because IBM's website is going to get a lot more traffic and indexed much more often than your website's going to be. And when the search engine, and Jeremy used the word bots, they're called spiders. there's stuff that Google and Bing send off throughout the web trying to index their site, is they're going to go to the IBM site a lot more than they're going to go to your site, and they're going to go out the doors. So they're going to see a link to your credit union and go out it. And like Jeremy pointed out, it's going to make it more relevant that the information on your site's important because you're linked to a site that's getting a lot of hits. So that's something to keep in mind. Again, all roads lead to your website. As Jeremy was mentioning about Facebook, LinkedIn, regardless of what you use in social media, you got partners, try to get more roads into your website, because the more roads, as those sites are getting indexed, as Facebook's getting indexed, as YouTube's getting indexed, as Wikipedia's getting indexed, you always see Wikipedia pretty high up there on the content list. If you've got a Wikipedia page and a link, that'll also help your search engine optimization stuff. Black hats, there are ways to get yourself higher up in the search engines that are considered incorrect, or that Google and Bing think you're trying to fool them, and if they catch you, can pull you out of the index. It happened to some big companies. JCPenney was one, BMW, Volkswagen, one of the European car companies. They were using what they call black hat tactics. They got caught, they got pulled out of the index, so they never showed up in searches. Now JCPenney and whichever it was, BMW, had enough resources to work with Google to get you back in their good graces. Your credit union may not. So you want to avoid black hat tactics. What a black hat tactic, for example, is when your website is being indexed by a robot or a spider, it's colorblind. It just sees text. So while we're telling you use a lot of keywords, what some people will do with this black hat tactic will use the same color background on the text. They put Las Vegas auto loans 100 times on the front page in the same text color as the background. So your customers aren't, your members aren't seeing this. So they're seeing a nice web page. The robot's seeing Las Vegas auto loans 100 times, saying, wow, this is a very relevant site that's going to help you in the search engines. If they catch you doing that, and they have ways to find that out, they can pull you out of the index. Another thing is putting your site, we talked about linking to sites that are relevant, that are used often enough. If there are companies out there, I hope I don't insult anybody, but porn websites are among the most trafficked websites on the internet. It says something about our society, I guess. They'll sell space to you to link to them invisibly so that no one will actually see a link to you. But the spider will see it, and because some of these sites are getting hit a lot, it increases their traffic. And your traffic gets increased, and again, you're on a site that's irrelevant to what you do for a living, but it's getting some traffic. So those are black hat tactics. There are companies out there, we're very good at search engine optimization. Beware of companies that guarantee they'll get you on the first page of Google. When somebody tells me, I guarantee I'll get you on the first page of Google, I tell them, sure, I'm going to change the credit union name to Michael Jordan Credit Union. And I want to be on the first page when someone types in Michael Jordan. Do you think any of you got a shot at being on the first page of Michael Jordan? What's going to be on the first page when I type in Michael Jordan on the web? Nike, ESPN, Wikipedia, NBA.com, Chicago Bulls, University of North Carolina, Michael Jordan's Steakhouse, Michael Jordan's basketball camp. There is no way you're going to beat them. So beware of companies that say they guarantee. There are no guarantees. A lot of art, a lot of trial and error. Web analytics, I'll try to go through this quick. I know we're running out of time. There are free tools on Google and Bing, Google Analytics, Bing Webmaster, that allow you to track. Going back to Bill's point is, how do I tell ROI? Well, one way to tell ROI on online campaigns is to track statistics. And this is where I will disagree with Bill. Output metrics are important. The number of eyeballs hitting your site is important. Why that is, let's say you get an increase in eyeballs, but not an increase in revenue. Because again, he's the CEO, he's looking at revenue. Well, then to me, there's a problem with the sales pitch. Either the pitch is wrong, or your business development people aren't bringing the ball home, aren't closing the deal. What's the problem? So output metrics are important. At the end of the day, they have to lead to sales, revenue, that sort of thing. But if they're not, you've got a 3% increase in your mailing you did, but no increased loans, there's a problem. Analyze that. We need to try to figure out how to fix it. So funnels, just last point, I'll talk about funnels. There's some new tools out on Google that allow, and it's kind of a little bit Big Brother. They tell you what the path was, what the funnel was of the person that's going to your site came through. So let's say you've got you're a partner of IBM, you've got a link on the IBM site. They'll be able to tell you, someone clicked on IBM, clicked on your link, went to your checking page, then went to your auto loans page. Very cool metrics, shows all that. Go to Google Analytics, it's free. There's some advanced tools that they sell very cheap that's probably worth doing. Use Bing Webmasters, even though it's only about 7% of the market. Get on Google Analytics, and it'll tell you a lot of statistics and tell you about how well your website's being trafficked and how good your online media campaigns are doing. All right, Jeremy, I'll hand this back.